Hello friends and family, Realtor Paulo Vasquez. In this video we're going to break down the home buying process into 4 easy steps. We're going to start from knowing absolutely nothing and I'm going to walk you through all the way to submitting an offer. Step number 1, find an awesome realtor. If you don't know where to start, ask a family member. Chances are somebody in your family has used a realtor before and they had a pleasurable experience with them and they would gladly refer them to you. If you don't know anybody in your family that knows a realtor, then maybe you know a realtor but lives in another city. Asking for a referral will gladly send somebody your way. Now, when I say awesome, I don't just mean your realtor should have an awesome personality. He should also be good. What are some qualities of a good realtor? Well, first, a realtor will always put you first. You are his client, and he has a fiduciary duty to always put your best interest first. This is the person that's going to guide you from start to finish and will make sure everything goes along smoothly in the transaction. A good agent will also know and suggest good references. For example, an inspector that is less likely to miss something major in the house, a lender that will close in time and make sure everything goes smoothly, and a title company that is easy to work with. A good agent will also use his impeccable negotiation skills to get you the best price possible for the house. He'll do things like call the listing agent to try to identify what the seller wants other than more money. Surprisingly, a lot of sellers will actually sell for a lower price just because you can give them the assurance that you're a reliable buyer and you will close in time. Or because you're just starting a family, you just had a baby and they want their old house, which has sentimental value to them, to somebody like you. Lastly, and probably the most important point, is that buyer services are free. That's right, buyer services are free. Your agent will get paid at closing by the seller. So when it comes to hiring an agent for buyer services, it's a no-brainer. Step number 2, pick a lender and get a pre-approval. My suggestion is to go to at least 3 different lenders and get quotes from all 3. Yes, I know this means that you run your credit 3 times and it might affect your credit score a little bit. Don't worry, just keep doing your payments in time and it'll go back up in no time. This will save you a lot of money in the long run, and you can also put them against each other to have them compete and maybe get a lower rate. A lender will take your financials and determine how much money he is willing to lend you. In other words, he will determine what's the maximum price range you can buy. He will also tell you an estimated down payment, mortgage, and interest rate. He can explain to you the different types of loans and what's the minimum down payment you can give in each. For example, the most common type of loan is the FHA loan. In this loan, the minimum down payment is only 3.5%. Let's look at what that looks like on several home prices. So 3.5% of $100,000 is only 3,500, 150,000, 5,250, 200,000, 7,000, 250,000, 8,750. On top of that, you would need to add closing costs, which could almost double this amount depending on whether the seller is willing to pay some of them or not. Do not be afraid to go talk to a lender. This is very important. The worst thing that happens is that he says no, you don't qualify for a loan because your credit score is too low, or maybe you don't have enough credit research. But the important thing here is that he will tell you, he can tell you, he will tell you what you need to do to be able to qualify, or maybe he'll tell you do qualify, but you qualify for $100,000 house and you want a $150,000 house. Then he'll tell you, well, you need to get rid of some payments. Maybe you need to get rid of your car payment or your credit card debt, or maybe you just need to increase your income. Once we talked to a lender and got him pre-approved, now it's time to move to step number 3, which is to actually start looking at houses. The first thing we need to do here is to come up with the criteria we would like. For example, number of bedrooms, number of baths, whether you want a 2-story house, a 1-story house, the area, this is very important. Maybe you want a certain specific school district, and last but not least, the price. The fact that you got approved for a $300,000 house doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go buy a $300,000 house. Give this criteria to your realtor and he will set you up in a search to start receiving listings that meet this criteria. If you have no idea what criteria to pick, don't be afraid to go into Zillow.com or Redfin.com and start browsing through some listings and just look around and see what you think you might like. A lot of realtors do not like these websites because their information in there is not always 100% accurate, but I find it to be a good place to start. Once you receive those listings from your agents, browse through them, pick a few that you like, 3, 4, maybe 5, and send them back to your agent and tell them you would like to see these houses. Your agent will gladly schedule you a viewing so you can go see these homes in person. If this is the first house you buy, chances are the first houses you go view are not the houses you like, or they're missing something you want but you didn't know. Do not worry, we as agents know this. So take this opportunity to tell your agent and be very clear to him. You would maybe want an extra bedroom, or maybe you want a house that looks more modern or more rustic, or whatever it is that you liked or didn't like about the houses you saw for that day. And he can adjust the search so you can get listings more of what you want. Eventually you're gonna walk into a house and you're gonna know this is the house. It is at this point that you go to your agent and tell them I want to make an offer, which brings us to step number 4, making an offer. Making an offer can be a bit complicated and can involve many different strategies that we're not gonna go over in this video, but luckily for you, you picked a great agent that knows all of these strategies and knows all the approaches you can take to making this offer and get it accepted. Once you get an offer accepted, congratulations, you made it to the hardest part. But there's still a lot of processes that need to happen. Your main point of contact is still going to be your realtor. He's still going to be the one that's going to keep everything together. But another person you also want to keep in contact a lot is your lender. Because sometimes lenders will tend to like just send you an email telling you that, hey, they require another pay stub or something like that, and you never saw your email, and so you forget, and then now we don't close in time and we need to extend the contract, and it turns into a whole deal you do not want to deal with. So keep in touch with your lender, and probably the most important thing, do not open any lines of credit or get a new loan or anything else. Doing this might actually throw off your debt to income ratio, and you might no longer qualify for a loan, and this will result in you losing the deal and probably even losing your earnest money. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you find this information helpful. If you have any questions or want to know the value of your house, do not hesitate to call me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next time.